Hello everybody. Today we are going to see how an SQL injection attack happened with a simple example and how we can prevent it. Up to the code level, we will see how it works. To do this example, most of the time the authentication is the one taken as an example. So here I am also doing the same thing. Took the authentication, so in a user table and username password login will be attempted without knowing the password, but normally the usernames are known because it should be the email address or the person's name. It's known normally. So using the username, if known username but password unknown, how we can gain an access to the system possibility, we will check in this SQL injection. So see this example, we have a table called user table. I'm using CodeIgniter 4 framework, it is PHP and the MySQL database. So in this database, this will be the design you can see here. So primary key is ID, then some other fields are coming like first name, last name and all. Here we are going to use mobile number as the username and the password is password. This password is stored as MD5 cache code. So we will use that one to authenticate. Let's have a quick view into the code. So the code is formulated in a way manual query. So in a normal manual way of developing a query, so we have to fabricate the query and using the submitted input username and password and make a query, and we try to retrieve the data. Other one is using the CodeIgniter 4 framework. These models, they have a model. In the using that model, prepared statement we will create, and the code framework itself generate a query which is safe for SQL injection vulnerability. It is safe from that vulnerability. So we will see how it look like. After running this particular script, we will see what is the query was formulated and what is the output, whether the login will be successful or not. That's what we are going to see. So let's see an example here. So this is simply an input field. Username and password is already there. These are the correct username and password. So I'm trying to do a login. See the raw SQL. So using the custom code raw SQL, simply making the query. So the select statement have these columns to be taken from user table, where mobile is the username, like same string, and password is MD5 converted. And again it's a simple query we are seeing here. Then if we go to the prepared statement, we will have again the similar way of forming the query. Username is same, password is MD5 encrypted. Additionally, you can see one more column being checked, because this is CodeIgniter 4 framework. They use created at, updated at and deleted at columns. So in a soft delete manner, they will make sure that deleted at timestamp is applied. So they are checking whether the deleted at column is null, to make sure this column is row is not deleted. So that's why this additional thing is added. Additionally, limited 1 is applied because I am trying to retrieve one row. So CodeIgniter will apply this limit 1 also on top of that, to make sure a large amount of data are not taken, even though they are returning the first record. So that safety is there. So this is a simple working scenario. The both place the data is taken out. So simply what it means is the authentication is passed, because here also data is retrieved, here also data is retrieved, manual and the other method. Now let's go and see a wrong login details. So I'm just going to give a wrong password and do a login. So in both scenario, there won't be an output, but queries are fine still. Both place queries are fine. Now I'm going to do a SQL injection. So normally SQL injection means we predict this input field will be placed into a query. So it's used to make a query. So we just predict how the query may look like. We seen it already here in this example. So we just predict it, and then we try to manipulate the query in a way the password is not necessary. So we will make it true in the level where password not taken into consideration. So then terminate the query, then The remaining portion we want to make it as commented line. So in SQL also we can use commented line by two hyphens next to next and a space. So once we apply that one, the remaining query will be considered as a comments. The front portion what we will do is simply finish the username and terminate by a semicolon. So now if the program is vulnerable to SQL injection, it will only look the username and the front page portion, then it will return the login. So it means login will be granted for a vulnerable system. It is one of the scenario, because still if they use the username at the last portion, the password is already considered. So it is still SQL injection vulnerable, but again it will prevent. So it's by accidentally it's preventing. So now we'll see this scenario what I mentioned. So simply I am putting a single quote. So I am just closing the statement, then just double hyphen, make sure one more space is given. Otherwise, immediately if a character come, this won't be considered as a commented line, and eventually it will try to do a this double hyphen will be taken as a data. So it won't fall under SQL injection. I am giving a wrong password and trying to do a login. So in the first example is a manual query which is SQL injection vulnerable. So what happens, see here, that's one first problem. Then the second one, actually the prepared statement saved it. So see here, select, then the select statements are there, then from, then use a table where mobile username, like the username is correct. Actually this single quote is not from the quote what I write, it is from the input I gave, and then a space, then the double hyphen and the space again. After I gave this one, this query is terminated at this point, and the remaining portion was considered as a commented line. So after this commented line, I may even put a small semicolon also, but still it managed to go through and return the values for this one. And the prepared statement, what it happened, see, the prepared statement will look for this SQL injection vulnerable characters and the phrases, then they will try to escape those. So here see, the single code which I passed, they took it and done the escape character, that is simply the slash. So that is escaped. After that is escaped, this code is not terminated, the remaining also taken into the single code. They actually put the single code after this one. So they are the one generating the single code. After taking all the input carefully, they are handling it. Now this whole thing is taken as an input directly. So no point I am putting SQL injection character, still it will be taken as a value from the parameter. Then password goes and everything goes. That's why this login didn't work, because they still treat those SQL injection characters as a username. So now let's go to the code and see how the code is doing the prevention, or how I done the vulnerable code. The first portion is I am doing a manual SQL. Then I am simply running the connection, username, password, server details already defined and utilized. Then I am executing the query on top of the connection, this is SQL query, then taking the value out. So see how I model the query. I didn't try any kind of special character escapes. So I was directly using this post method and just directly converting to MD5 and directly concatenating this password. Same way username, see, directly the username is placed into this area. So no escape characters, nothing happened. So any character I am putting will go there and do harmful thing. We can imagine what are the special characters are there. One by one we can't escape. That's why we need to go for prepared statement. Then the framework will do the job. Most of the time we use frameworks, but sometime we will jump and bypass the framework, and instead of using the prepared statement, we will use custom query. Sometimes it may look easy to write the custom query and finish it off. So that is a place the SQL injection vulnerability come. Normally if they use code scanner, the code scanner will point out the vulnerability. But if it is a small project, or if we do a hot fix in the production in an urgent scenario like a workaround, we may not do these scans, and these kind of issues will slip through. That's why this knowledge is important. Let's see how this prepared statement work. In the code igniter framework, the prepared statement goes like this. First we will tell this is a select statement. Under there we will say what are the columns needed, simply that's all. Then we will go to the where condition. There also don't just there is possibility you can give the where string as it is, putting equal, like and all, but don't use that one. Simply use the two parameter concept. Give the column name, then give the value. Then again another where condition if you want, and then give the column name and then give the input value. Like that if we do, then first this is what I said, the limit one came automatically because I want to get the first record only. So when we use this prepared statement, and I'm just trying to retry the query which is formulated, that's what we were seeing in the screen. So because we are using this factory pattern, the inbuilt method prepared statement, it is doing all the vulnerability checks, all the escape characters are handled. Now it's a save query is the one being executed. So this system is saved. So now you've seen how it works. So next time when you are trying a SQL related one, make sure these kind of vulnerabilities are not there. Make sure the framework, existing methods, any of the methods utilized. Don't quickly bypass and try to write the query which is facing the user input to handle this query processing. Anywhere user input is possibility, which don't try to bypass the framework and put this manual code in the place. So hope this is beneficial. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you.